more time. And to be a part of something like this, to make something like this does require a lot of patience. And I've always been the kind of actor who's been on the ball. Like I switch from one thing to the other very quickly. I know my job, I go to set, I do it well. Over here, you have to mold yourself along with what is being created in front of you. It's a process of complete surrender. And if you are not able to do that, you cannot be a part of something like this. So I think I walked away as a much stronger actor after Hiramandi, yes.
And did it somewhere impact you personally? I would like to think characters and playing certain roles maybe adds to you as a person. Did this
No,
do?
I don't take my work home with me.
Nice.
I prefer it that way actually because it can really consume you. And I, as a person, some people do that and it works for them. It helps them, it grows them. But for me, I prefer to keep it very, very, I like to compartmentalize.
I think
So,
it's a great thing. We all can learn from you in
We
that
can
case.
learn. I was just going to say we should all learn.
it's a switch. Switch on, switch off.
Maybe you can tell me later how you're going to do this, switch on and off. You know, another question for the two of you. When you look at female filmmakers, actors, producers, making a foray into the industry today, when there's been such a shift, right, and I think a very, very welcome change, if you had to kind of give them, say, 3 top advice, or say even one, what would that be?
From a female filmmaker?
Yes, for either an actor, a filmmaker, or a producer, any of them, if you had to say something to them as they navigate through this journey. Yeah.
I think all I would say is go for it. A lot of women have been conditioned and, sort of been trained to doubt themselves for a very, very long time. And they just need that one push where somebody tells them, you know what, go for it. I'm behind you. I will back you. And you have nothing to worry about. I think that first step is very, very important. So for me as a girl also, I would just encourage every other woman who wants to do whatever it is in life that she wants to do to just go for it. Yeah.
I don't think I'm anyone to give anyone advice, but I would just say that don't hold back. We find ourselves in many rooms where you're the only female voice, but I think it's an important voice. It's an important point of view. It's an important perspective. So I think it's important that we don't hold back. And I would say the other thing, since we've touched upon it, both of us twice over, I think it's the sense of community. Women for women, I would say that's more important than anything else. And the perception of, when women work together or when women are together, I think those are populated by, I think, dated pop culture, I would say. So I think fostering a sense of community and really standing for each other is top of mind for me.
And I really do hope that we do get to see more women in our workplaces when, because it's just, like I've done 2 projects now which were helmed by female directors. One was Khandani Shafakhana and one is Dahad. And I kid you not, those have been one of the best experiences of my life, of my career, and it's just such a smoother set when it's run by a woman. So I would really encourage more women to get into it.
I think we're already seeing that shift. I think women are really coming forth more confident when it comes to this industry as opposed to what we saw even 5 years ago. I mean, that's something that I see around me. Sonakshi, before we go, it's just a question that popped into my head and I think I have to ask you before you leave. Do you remember the day you got the call for being a part of Hiramandi? Do you remember what you were doing? Do you remember what your reaction was? And what is it that you felt? Please leave us with
Oh,
this.
this is a funny story. So Sanjay sir and me, like I said, we were trying to collaborate on stuff even before Hiramandi. He did produce a film of mine which was called Rowdy Rathod, very, very long back. And ever since then, and he's been very, very fond of me. Like every time I meet him, he's always like so encouraging. He's always praising me. And sometimes it's like, I don't know where to look. Like, I'm like, oh my God, is this happening? But he's been very, very fond of me. And so we tried and didn't work out. He went ahead, he did his stuff, I was doing my work. But we were always in touch over the period of years. So every time I went to his office, I would sit with him, we would chat over a cup of coffee, and I would leave and cut to, he started his project, I'm doing something else, he's doing something else. So I got a call for Hiramandi, Sanjay sir wants to meet you. So I said, okay, great, I'll be there. I live very close to his office. I landed up, I sat with him. He sat down, he came into the room, I sat down and I was chilling there with, Prerna was there. And we were talking and then he came. I said, sir, you know, every time you call me to your office, you give me coffee and I leave. This time I'm not having coffee with you, I'm going to have tea.
Change the narrative.
Yeah, I've had tea with him. We've had the same sort of conversation we always used to have. I've gone home and I'm in Hiramandi. So tea is the answer, guys, not coffee.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sonakshi. And I want to say all the best for Hiramandi. It looks
Thank you so
every
much.
bit delicious, spectacular, and stunning. Thank you so much for talking to me, and thank you,
Thank
you guys.
you, and thank
Can
you,
we hear it
everybody.
once for Hiramandi? Thank you.
Thank you for such a dynamic conversation. Your vibrant insights truly illuminated the conversations, leading us inspired and enriched. Our heartfelt wishes go to Hiramandi, and we are extremely excited. Thank you once again for your presence, Sonakshi. It added an extra layer of significance to our program. Thank you, Tanya, for delivering such an exciting thing. Thank you, Swati, for such a smooth and engaging discussion on Hiramandi.